let's start with the most competitive series and go down to the least. All right, so that figures to be, right, the Rockets and the Thunder. James Harden at the point now. So how do we see that mano-a-mano matchup with Harden and Westbrook playing out?
I think this will be one that we have to sit and watch with our mouths open, because it's just going to go back and forth with these guys making incredible plays, leading their team. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to be one of those, all-star games kind of where who's going to score the most points. And I just think the Rockets have more weapons and they're going to knock down more shots. I think OKC will win a couple games, which will make this series interesting, and then we'll just have to wait and see.
I mean, Ryan, 3 of the games were decided by 3 points or less.
Yeah, both of these teams are average defensively, and I mean that in a good way. Houston usually with this kind of shooting profile, those teams aren't usually great defensively. We've been saying it all year. The way they shoot it, they scare the hell out of everybody. They really do. So I think they could maybe beat anybody except for maybe Golden State, and then also still lose to anybody if they got in a really cold shooting streak. But I still like Houston better here, because Houston in their system is still much tougher to defend than the Russ system of I'm just going to go at you guys. And as great as Russ has been, I think this is where you see in the playoffs at times when he becomes predictable to how you need to defend a team. That's where he can hurt someone.
Houston, that high percentage system, and it's hard to imagine over the course of several games that they would go cold, as you.
Yeah, you got to hope they can't hit a shot for 4 of these 7.
Right, that's not going to happen. All right, what's more competitive, Spurs, Grizzlies, or Clippers, Jazz?
I think the Spurs, Grizzlies. The Grizzlies, you always try to count them out. They find ways to win. They're one of those teams that are kind of built for the playoffs. They go down and they execute offensively. They come back, they execute defensively. And then they got guys who you never know from time to time if they're going to give you a great game or a good game. I see Marc Gasol the other game shoot like a Steph Curry 3 and knock it down. And then Zach comes in and does his thing. And then they're a team defensively that could slow the Spurs down and kind of give them some problems here and there. But can they score? Because the Spurs, obviously have Kawhi. And
how many games would you see this going?
Maybe 6 in San Antonio. I still think that their offense is superior to what Memphis is. And I would disagree with Antonio. I can't wait to see this other series, because Utah, when they're right, when they're healthy, when they have all of their pieces, including Hill point guard, they are a really scary team. And even though I feel like for years I've been maybe more pro-Clippers than others have been, like here they are 50 wins and everybody wants to blow them up and everybody stinks on the team. Like
I think still, that now, blow them up.
All right, but, what's the other option? Win 25?
Right,
so,
exactly.
It's like almost we become impatient with their averageness.
Yeah.
But the Jazz, when they are right, are a very dangerous team. So this could go either way. I do think that, it becomes one of those things we'll see after a couple games if Hayward and everybody feels comfortable. Gobert. I mean, Gobert is closing the season on a tear as well. So
wow, so that could be an upset?
Oh, yeah. I don't think it's even that big of an upset if Utah were to win this series.
And not that big of an upset. All right, but it would be epic, of course, should the Blazers beat the Warriors. Listen, they're winning those games by an average of 19 points. Where in the playoffs are the Warriors going to get tested?
Well, I think they won't get tested in the first round against the Blazers, obviously. I think they'll get tested a little bit if they have to play Utah or Cleveland. But the real test, to me, won't come into the Western Conference Finals. Then we'll see, KD has to be in rare form and things like that for them to go ahead and make it to the finals.
I mean, you're hyping up Utah here.
Yes.
Right?
Then when the hype machine stops. Portland, when it was kind of in that 3-team race there at the end, you felt like Portland with that backcourt and Nurkic just giving them a bit of a boost that they would get into the playoffs. But they are the second worst defensive team of any of the teams in the playoffs, ahead of only Cleveland, by the way.
Yes, there you go,
there's just not enough defense for them to really give them a threat.
And that's not good.
No.
That is not good against Golden State.
Not against Golden State.
Gentlemen, this just in. Appreciate your time this morning, you two. Thanks.